All right, here's the top list of things never to say to a parent who has a child with special needs, medically complex, or some kind of medical needs. Number one, when they're leaving the NICU and you tell them as they're leaving with medical accessories not to make their house into a mini NICU. Dear Lord, please help me. Because they're going home with lots of medical things, whether it be trachs or oxygen or NG tubes, medicine, looking out for seizures, a pulse ox machine, whatever it is, they're going home with medical equipment. So if to make them feel better, they have it organized and set up in a way that they've been taught to do that for weeks or months in the NICU, you should be applauding those parents for being brave enough to do it. All right, the next thing. When a parent tells you what their plan is and what their backup plan is, don't tell them planning leads to worrying and anxiety. For a family who has kids that has medical needs, you need to have a plan, a backup plan, and a backup plan for that backup plan. You need to plan for the best case scenario and worst case scenario so that when it actually happens, you know what to do. You don't stress out more, you don't freak out more, and you just handle it. You should be applauding those families for having a plan and being proactive. Dear Lord, please don't say that. Okay, so here's the next one. Stop telling parents to be positive when they're talking to you about their kid and what's going on. For the love of God, do you know how hard it is to open up and be vulnerable and tell you actually how you're really feeling on the day-to-day about what's happening with your child and what's happening in your life? That is not an easy thing to do because we are expected to smile and be positive all the time. We're supposed to have this positive outlook and hope and faith. We hear those words all the time and we live in it every day. So when a parent actually opens up and tells you how they feel, or just is expressing to you the facts of what is going on with their child medically, please don't disregard what they're saying and tell them you should really be positive. Listen, just acknowledge what they are telling you is happening with their child. Listen and have a conversation about it. When you dismiss it and tell a parent to be positive, I think you're doing that more for yourself than for the parent. Next thing, please stop telling parents not to watch the pulse ox, not to look at the numbers. Stop watching the machines and watch your baby. Because guess what? The reality is we have to be watching both. And when we go home, a lot of times we're still watching both. We need to know what's going on. We need to understand how those numbers and what we see clinically happening with our child, how those two connect. So understand us watching the numbers is not we are paranoid. It is us learning. You do it day in and day out. This is our opportunity to learn. It's our opportunity to see. And then once we get to know our child, we are going to watch the numbers and clinically watch our child because we're going to be able to anticipate what is happening and be able to tell you. So thank you would be nice instead of judgment. All right, next one, very important. When a parent tells you something great that their kid did, like they met a milestone, something that you feel maybe isn't a big deal, or you think is just age appropriate, please, Jesus, give me the strength. Please be excited with them. Because when you have a medically complex child, a child with any kind of medical needs, they're not always going to hit every milestone on time. So if they hit something on time, please don't let your reaction be, well, my niece, well, my nephew, well, my child, well, my grandchild, well, my friend's kid's kid. Please don't dismiss what they're saying by just blowing it off like they're any other child or it's the norm. They should have hit that milestone. It's a big deal. Please celebrate with us. All right, next. When a parent talks to you about the future with their child and talks about what their hopes are, what they're looking forward to, or, maybe something like, I hope my child is off oxygen by this point. I hope that my child can talk or walk. It could be any number of things. Please don't dismiss the parents and tell them, stop looking so far ahead. Stop worrying. If you look that far ahead, you're just going to worry about it. Just live in the moment. Do you tell every other parent they have to just live in the moment when they're looking to the future with hope and faith? Which, by the way, you're constantly telling us to do. But here are some really great things that you can say to a parent. You're doing a great job. We believe in you. We know that this is really hard, but we also believe in you that you can do this. We are here to support you. Call us. We expect you to call us with questions. Don't just tell us to call you. Tell us. You expect to hear from us because you don't expect us to know everything and to be able to do it all on our own. Give us the opportunity to express how we're feeling. Ask us, how are you doing? Honestly, and then be willing to accept whatever we have to say without trying to squash it, shut it down. Really listen and acknowledge how we're feeling and what our needs are. Tell us you know this is hard. Tell us you know it's a long road. Tell us you're proud of us for having a plan, for being proactive. Talk to us about our marriages because you know how hard and how stressful this is on a marriage. Encourage us to work together. Help us, guide us. Give us that love and support that we need. Acknowledge the other children that we have and how that balance is really hard. And how being away from one while you're with the other is so heartbreaking. Stop and get to know the parents. Listen to parents when they're telling you something's wrong with their child. They know their child. We live and breathe everything with them. We watch their stats. And when you tell parents not to do that, it's like, how can you not? So bring us onto your team. Make us a part of your team. Know that we just want the best for our kids like you do, but we need to be a part of that. So please listen to us. Please hear us when we tell you we know our child's cry and we know what they need. And just because our child has a smile on their face doesn't mean that they're feeling okay, because children with chronic illnesses often smile and often want to play and keep up with their peers and yet aren't feeling good or are in pain. All right, here's another thing you can say. Be really specific when you're giving us positive feedback. Like, you did a great job explaining your child's symptoms. You do a great job giving a medical history on your child. You do a great job being a part of our team. Those are things that are so great to hear when you can be specific. You are so great at taking care of your child and keeping your child alive. You're doing a great job at looking for the signs and symptoms. You're doing a great job. I can see how happy your child is. I can see how well your child is doing because you are working so hard day and night to keep them happy and healthy and well-adjusted, because we know children who are in and out of doctor's offices and hospitals and have medical experiences, man, they need a lot of love. They need a lot of encouragement because they have to grow up really, really fast. You're doing a great job at helping your child to make progress, at helping your child to see that they are worthy, that they are brave and strong, and that you believe in them. And that they can believe in all of the team, that they don't have to be fearful. And that when they are fearful, and they're scared, they're crying, that it's okay for them to have those feelings. And you give them that safe space. Great job, Mom and Dad.